So this first example we are going to look at essentially walks through 6.2, which is writing a simple class step by step. I want to say that starts on page 324 or thereabout. So first and foremost, you can again just click through here to the Replit link, and away we go. The first thing we were going to do here is look at our rectangle class. So the way we would do this here in Replit is here we have add file, here we have add folder. We do not, for the present, need the folder. If we would just go ahead and click on add file, I'm going to call this rect2 .java. Do you have to include the .java extension? No, but it's a good idea to do so. So that's how we would create a file in here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this, but that part is up to you. Here in rectangle.java, this is where we're going to want to start. This is how we are going to create our classes from here on out. So I've just created a rectangle.java, and here inside of rectangle.java is my code. First and foremost, we have public class rectangle. You'll notice there's a capital R there. I mentioned that this was going to be important in the previous video, and this is going to be important in this video. So public class, could we do this as private? Yes, but that is going to have other repercussions that come along with it. So if we declare this as public here, what essentially that public suggests is that any other .java here in our folder structure has access to it. So it's public. Everybody can get it. And really that's what we want. These, you'll remember from our previous video, the UML diagram video, these are our private double length and width. Those are our field elements, or variables. So we need length, we need width. Additionally, we're going to add to this as we go on, but for right now, to keep my typing low, we just have one method, public void, so it doesn't return anything. All it does is sets something for us. And what that does is it sets length, so that's our field. It sets that to the value of a past double value called len in here. So length equals len. What we're doing is we're assigning our field to this local, or the value rather of this local variable called len. And that's it. That's, for the time being, that's our entire rectangle class. So I'll come back here to main.java. So right up here on line number 4, this is where I have my declaration, right? This is where I'm going to declare I want something called box, and that something is going to be a rectangle. How do we get that? It's going to be a new instance of a rectangle class. So this object, so this is us creating an object here on line number 4, is going to reference rectangle.java in order to be able to get that done. So I'm just walking you through what we're going to see here in the code, 6 through 8. I have a print line that says sending the value 10 to the setLength method, and that's coming right here on line 11, box.setLength. So what are we doing here with this? You'll notice box is the name of the new object that I've just created. So there's that box. This .setLength comes from our rectangle Java. This is our setLength method. So what we're doing here on line number 11 is we're telling box to access its method called setLength. And what we're going to do is we're going to pass a double variable, 10.0, over to setLength. This particular program has no sysout. When it's done, it just says done. because we don't have, there's no return here. We don't have a get length yet. We'll get there in our next video for that application. So I've already forked this. I'm just going to go ahead and run. And what I can tell you is, sooner or later, this isn't going to go. Now, this is an error that I know I see a ton of times when you're first starting out here. So what this is saying is right here, rectangle.java. So I have a rectangle.java, but what do you notice about rectangle is public and should be declared in a file named rectangle.java, capital R. What do we see here? Rectangle.java, lowercase r. What I want to do is rename that with a capital R. Here, inside of Replit, it needs to have capital letters there. Otherwise, this is going to cause you no shortage of heartache and tears. So the next error I can see we're going to have is it's saying cannot find symbol, new rectangle. You'll notice again that's a lowercase r because previously I had a lowercase r there. So what I'm going to do is come right up here to line number 4 and change that to a capital R. This is all in the interest of letting you know that capitalization and punctuation is important. Capital R rectangle here, capital R rectangle here, capital R rectangle here, capital R rectangle here. That is going to keep you sane. Please take note of that. And when you're building your solutions from here on forward, make sure that you are being cautious with those capital letters. Here inside of Replit, absolutely positively, you'll notice main.java has a capital M. For this to function, you'll notice rectangle.java has a capital R as well. So this is the very start to our classes with main.java. So here's our rectangle class. It's a public class, so that means anybody in this folder would have access to it. Here are our field variables, private double length, private double width. It's just to show you that they are only good to things inside of this folder structure. And I've started defining the classes available to this object, the method here set length, and that's something that we call to from here on line number 11. That's that dot set length, and then the parens. That's what lets you know that that is a call to a method. So that's it. We could essentially take the examples that we did in chapter 5. We could cut the methods that we have inside of main, and we could paste them into a new, class.java, whatever we want to call that, and everything would function pretty much the same way it was before. So this is that advance and retreat. We came that far last week, or last chapter rather, just to peel back a little here so that we could see how objects interact with their classes.